Hello, everybody out there. This is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching. Just got back from the Western Southern Open. Awesome event. Had a great time. And it's pretty cool. Djoker is back, everybody. Joker's back, which opens up a whole new can of worms on who's the best player. Is it Federer? Is it Nadal? Is it Djokovic? And I want to have a live debate on this and get everybody's opinion. I have my opinions on it. And first, let me just start by saying I think that there is a difference between best player and greatest of all time. So let me just preface our debate with that, and I'll explain a little more as we have people come on in. But I do just want to congratulate Djokovic for coming back. Diego is already on. Each one has their own amazing statistics, says Diego. And that's absolutely right. I mean, the stats are awesome in all of them. It's such a unique thing to have such amazing players all playing together in the same era. Now Djokovic has won all 9 of the Masters 1000 titles, which is just phenomenal. And, really made yesterday's match look pretty routine. And I hate to say it for all the Federer fans out there, it seems that when Federer plays Djokovic, when Djokovic's playing really, really strong tennis, and when Nadal's playing really, really strong tennis, Federer seems to get visibly more nervous than those guys. He had a double fault yesterday that went like way into, he was serving to the deuce side. Did you guys see that? He was serving to the deuce side, and he served it way on the ad side. He had some forehands where he had a wide open court, and you could literally see his racket face slowing down as he was about to hit, but, looking like, I'm certainly not comparing Federer to a club player, but kind of looking nervous, like you would see a club player, like, bail out of their shot and not go for it. And Nadal and Djokovic have been able to do this to Federer when they are playing at their best. So the debate that I want to open up today is not who is the great, yes, horrible feeling watching Federer missing key shots, 39 unforced errors. Federer GOAT, but Noel is the best and playing at the highest level at this time. Yeah, so we have Carrie, we have Diego weighing in. You guys weigh in too. I want everybody to weigh in on this debate. Here is my thing, okay? I think when you're talking about greatest of all time, you have to give that to Federer because the numbers are just incredible, okay? The amount of Grand Slams he's won, the amount of tournaments he's won, the amount of matches he's won, how he stayed injury-free. Also, hey, Ali's on. Rafa, best player right now, I feel. He's the most consistent player this year. Novak, let me read that. Let me read your whole thing, Ali. Novak deserved the win final, but didn't play any of the HC match. I don't know what HC means. Best player depends on the surface. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about too. Nadal turns into a beast on clay. So I'm going with Federer for greatest of all time. Also, besides the awards, it just seems that, especially watching him play live at the Western Southern Open, no one hits the ball like Federer. He just looks so elegant. What he does for the game, as far as the people who follow him, the people who love him, he's the greatest to me. Okay, but if we're gonna go best player, meaning that who is the best player when all the top 3, and they're arguably the greatest 3 players of all time, Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal, when they are all healthy, when they are all playing well enough to get to a final, right? Not necessarily that they're all playing out of their mind, but they're all playing well enough to get to a final. They're feeling good. They're playing good. They've met each other in a Grand Slam final. Who is the best of all time? And let's also take this to the hard courts. Let's make it the most neutral surface we can go with. Of course, if you're going to go on clay, you have to give that to Nadal. If you're going to go on grass, you have to give that to Federer. But most of the tour, whether we like it or not, is played on the hard court. So they're playing each other on the hard court. Who's the best player? I am going to go with Djokovic. It just seems that when Djokovic is feeling good and gets in a zone, he is the perfect mix of, and Matt from Coffee Break Tennis, who loves Federer more than anybody, he says, when you watch Djokovic's ball, isn't it like the perfect mix between Federer's shots and Nadal's shots, where Federer maybe at times plays too close to the lines, he plays too close to the net, and so he can tend to spray balls in clutch situations. Where Rafa, who's amazing, he's awesome, but if there is a weakness, I would say that sometimes, his ball maybe goes too high over the net and he can't hit through the court. He's hitting everything as a buggy whip forehand, and at times has trouble hitting through the court. And I will say this about Djokovic. When Djokovic is playing at his absolute best and he's playing Rafa, when Djokovic was going on a tear, from 2012, 13, 14, somewhere around there, when Djokovic was just on fire. It seemed that when they got into a rally battle, that Djokovic seemed to be more consistent. He seemed to be more powerful, and he appeared to be a better mover and faster than Nadal, which, is almost impossible to think about. So, couldn't say it any better. Relentless like Nadal, strokes beautifully like Federer. He's perfect analogy. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Okay, Ollie does not agree. Sorry, Novak didn't play well in the rounds leading up to Cincinnati final. He played very well in the final, but didn't look good before the final. Okay, I hear you, Ollie. But if I think Rafa might be your man, Ollie. If you look at Rafa, how many tournaments has he played? One of the things I give credit to Rafa for is he can start out a tournament playing weak tennis, and then by the end he's playing better and better and better, and he saves his best tennis for the big match, and that's what Djokovic did at the Western Southern Open, and it does seem to me that when the three are healthy and they are going into a big match, it does seem that Djokovic has had the upper hand on Roger, certainly Roger. I mean, guys, you can't deny that. Over the last several years in big matches, U.S. Open finals, Wimbledon finals, Djokovic has had the mental and I guess physical edge over Roger. And even before Rafa started to get hurt and Djokovic started to get hurt on the clay, Djokovic was starting to really take it to Rafa. And Rafa, here's one of the reasons why I say you got to pick Djokovic. Rafa said after playing Djokovic, when he's really getting frustrated, he's like, I have never seen tennis be played better. He said, I have never seen tennis be played better. So, so Ali said, no, I meant to say because of HC. What is HC? Didn't spell it out. Hard court. Didn't mean it in a sarcastic way. Yeah. On fast, hard courts, it's Federer, though. I mean, yes, I agree. If it's a fast court, you go with Federer. If it's a slow clay court, you go with Rafa. But most of the tour, what they want to do is they want to neutralize everything. So they're tending to play. Most of the matches today are played on slower, hard courts. And so I'm saying if we put all three of those guys in a tournament, they're all playing their really good tennis. They are all healthy. They all feel confident. Who has the best game to win that little round robin? And I got to say, it's Djokovic. I think the guy just has a little more firepower than Nadal when he's playing his best. He can get to all the balls Nadal can get to. He can slide on hard courts like I've never seen anybody slide on hard courts. I don't even know if Nadal slides as well on a hard court, especially off the backhand side the way Novak does. And then his down the line ripper backhand winner is back, where that was missing earlier in this year when he was trying to make his comeback. He just seems like it's so hard to win a point against, and certainly against Federer, it seems that with Federer in these types of matches, when he's playing somebody who you just can't seem to hit winners against, it seems that Federer seems to get frustrated and nervous and misses shots uncharacteristically. Is what I see. Certainly against Novak, he does this, and he did it against Rafa too until the last couple of years he's kind of turned that around. Joker's net game, though. I mean, Joker's net game's pretty good, I think. I think Rafa is surprisingly good at the net. Rafa's awesome at the net. Novak is the only player that I've watched that when at his peak, he's looked invincible. That's right, Ollie. I mean, Novak can look invincible. And if you're just joining us right now, I am not saying that Djokovic is the greatest of all time. I think you have to give that to Roger. And then if I had to pick a second, I would give it to Rafa. What they have done for the sport, I mean, they're certainly more iconic. Federer and Nadal are more iconic figures in tennis. They're more well-liked than Djokovic, and they have more accomplishments. And on a day in and day out basis, you know, their record speaks for themselves. They've been more consistent than Djokovic, especially Roger, because Rafa's dealt with so many injuries. So I give it to those guys when you're talking about like greatest of all time. But if I'm talking about best player, the best, most complete player of all time, not necessarily the prettiest to watch. I think Federer has the most eloquent game out there. You know, he's the most fun to watch. He's got the most shots. But that's different to me than being the most complete. I find that, you know, when Djokovic is on his game, he looks like he has zero weaknesses. He looks like he's consistent. Everything's solid. You can't find an opening on the court. And it seems like just a matter of time before either you feel so much pressure that you hit a shot that you shouldn't go for, or he will hit a winner against you. And to me, in that regard, he's the most complete player I think I've ever seen pick up a racket. Three of them have looked invincible. That's true, Diego. Three of them have looked invincible. I mean, certainly, you know, Roger might turn around and win the U.S. Open, and I might make the same speech about Roger. I mean, Roger, you know, is my favorite. But I just, Ali, you don't have to apologize. I just have to give credit to Novak. And one of the things that I love about this is Novak is making this conversation happen again. And I was actually watching the match with my brother yesterday. And one of the things I said that I love about Rafa and I love about Novak and I love about Roger is how resilient they are. All three of these guys have been written off. You know, for many years, people were saying, well, Roger's getting too old. He will never win another major. He will never win another major. And then Rafa, when he got his injuries, when he came back, he looked like a shell of himself. And his RPMs on his forehand were down like by over 10,000. He's used to hitting over 3,000 RPMs, and he was hitting like 2,200 RPMs when he came back. And he was hitting forehands and backhands 50-50 at the French Open. And now, you know, it's the magic is back in Rafa's topspin. And Djokovic was struggling to beat people in the top 100 this year. He was getting smoked. He was getting smoked by people, you know, who even at the Australian Open, after Djokovic lost to Chung, people were saying Chung's a better version of Djokovic. It's like how quickly we forget how awesome these guys are. Okay, so we have somebody saying Nadal is better than Djokovic on slow, moderate bouncing courts like U.S. Open. Nadal leads Djokovic 2-1 at the U.S. Open. Also, Nadal leads 9-3 Federer and 9-5 at Grand Slams. Yes, I mean, it is. I mean, it would be tough if you put $1 million out there on the table, and you had Nadal against anybody, one match, take all the money. It's really, really tough to bet against Nadal. I mean, he is just so mentally tough, mentally fierce. You know, so that's really a good point. And it would be hard for me to do that, to bet against Rafa. He's so good. It's going to be a sad day when all three retire. People said the same after Agassi and Sampras, but it's not the same. These three have something special within them. I agree. I think Sampras was amazing. Sampras right up there with the greatest of all time, 14 majors. Agassi-Sampras rivalry was special, but if I'm going to be completely honest, what made that rivalry very special is they were both American, the contrasting styles, but it was not a real rivalry like we see today, and I think that Sampras for the most part owned Agassi, and Agassi, as great as he was, certainly nowhere near a Sampras. He was not near Sampras as far as all his achievements, in my opinion. He's not near Federer. He's not near Nadal. He's not near Djokovic. Those guys are in the class of their own, and I think you have to put Sampras in that class. And I would not put Agassi in that class, although Agassi, very entertained, awesome for the game. We will never forget him. Give us your prediction. Diego says, give us a prediction for the number of slams that they will retire with. That's really a great question and tough. I mean, Federer, you'd have to figure at most he's going to get 1 or 2 more. If he got 3 more, it'd be amazing. He's 37. I could see him winning the U.S. Open. I could see him winning next year's Australian Open, and he might win Wimbledon. He's so great on grass. I don't think he'll win all 3 in a row. So I see him winning any of those as his best chances, and then as the years go on, it's going to be tougher and tougher. With Nadal, I mean, that guy looks so much further above anybody on clay that you could just picture him winning another 5 French Opens before anybody figures out how to beat him. And Djokovic now looks hungry, and he looks ready to go. He made it a goal at the beginning of this tournament that he wanted to win and own all the Masters titles. So he's certainly thinking about history. I think that was a major motivating factor, as he realized, I'm going to be the only guy to win all 9 of these, and I want all 9. So he's thinking about history again, where I think earlier in the year he was completely lost in where he fit into tennis and his game, and was struggling. So I think it's going to be really tough for Djokovic to end up with 20 like Federer has. I could definitely see Nadal passing him. I could see Nadal passing Federer. I think if anybody's going to go past Federer's record of 20, it would be Nadal, and I could see Federer ending up with 21 or 22. Yes, Diego says that Djokovic looks reborn. That's right. He's all in, and I love it. He got rid of the guru, right? The guru who was teaching him love and peace, which is great. I think he still has that mindset. He still blows. He gives his heart to the crowd, but he's got that. He's got the eye back. He's got the eye of a champion back. He gets a little more feisty with the umpires and sometimes with the crowd. So. I think that Djokovic is back in a big way. I think it is very, very good for tennis. It definitely is exciting. I am proud of Djokovic. I'm proud of our sport. I'm proud of Federer. I'm amazed by Federer. I mean, the guy got to the finals again of Western Southern Open, and he's 37. And there's a good chance he'll get to the finals of the U.S. Open. And there's a good chance that Nadal will get to the finals of the U.S. Open. There's a good chance that Djokovic will get to the finals of the U.S. Open. These guys are what make tennis interesting. They are going to be sorely missed when they're gone, because I still have yet to see a next gener show that they are a true champion. So when they leave, there's going to be a big void and heavy shoes, big shoes to fill. So okay, when Nadal retires, he will be the GOAT, because he will have the most slams, the most Masters 1000s, Olympic gold, most ATP 500s, youngest player to win career Grand Slam, only player to have multiple Grand Slams. I think it's a legitimate point. We will see what happens. At the end, the numbers will speak for themselves. Certainly, all 3 guys have the right to be in the conversation of the greatest of all time, and I think that's what's really cool. And I'm really proud of those guys, and proud to be a part of such a great sport like you guys. I'm sure are proud of your sport, as proud of our sport. And so I want to thank you for watching this live broadcast and chiming in. If you watch this on the replay, people chime in again. Like this video. If you have not watched our videos before, we are Crunch Time Coaching. We're an online tennis instruction channel. We also have the fastest growing tennis talk show in the world, hosted by my favorite host, Matt Bradshaw of Coffee Break Tennis. Oh, cool. We got Time Value of Tennis, another great new YouTube channel. You guys should check them out. They make great content, and they're going to be part of TennisCon too. So Djokovic, Federer, or Nadal, other than the U.S. Open, I feel like Djokovic looks the strongest right now. Yeah, I think Djokovic does look the strongest. Who else could win it besides those three? Long shots, dark horse, who I would love to see. I'm waiting for someone to come around like Becker did, like Sampras did, and just take it. And I am feeling better and better about Tsitsipas. I really like Tsitsipas, besides just the name. I really love his game, and I love his heart. He won his semifinal match in Toronto, and he wrote in, "It never gets easier. You just get better." He seems really hungry, and he's got a great game. Besides having a beautiful game, I think he's got the heart to back it up, and I hope he can become a champion. I'm waiting for a young champion, and I would love to see it. In terms of number of popularity, you've got to give it to Federer, but technically, strategically, and mentally, Novak is the greatest to ever play. Yeah, so best or greatest, I think it's kind of like a play on words. What does that exactly mean? But certainly, if you were going to train someone to be just complete and technically perfect at everything, Djokovic certainly looks pretty darn good, doesn't he? I mean, who wouldn't want his forehand, his backhand, his serve just looks solid. It's not like amazing, but it's very solid technically looking, especially now that he changed his motion back. Early in the year, he had a weird new motion, abbreviated motion that wasn't working for him. So I'm glad he dropped that. And his volleys are pretty good. Volleys look nice. Slice backhand looks a little bit mechanical to me. Certainly Federer flows the best on the slice backhand. His slice backhand is just a work of art. And Federer's game in general is a work of art. No one looks prettier playing the game than Roger, and I think that's why he's so well loved, besides just being a really class act. But I honestly think that Nadal is a class act, and I like Djokovic too. I think Djokovic gets a lot of flack for things he said and did earlier in his career, some of them not necessarily even his fault. And but if you look at the way Djokovic treats his fans, treats the press, treats kids, he's always out there on practice courts bringing kids out there to hit with him. I really, really love Djokovic. Okay, Zverev has a good chance at winning U.S. Open, in my opinion. Yeah, Zverev, I mean, he does. He's got the game, but wow. I mean, one of the weird things about Zverev is he seems like somebody who is hungry, is focused, but he's got a lot of questionable third set and fifth set, just like out of nowhere getting smoked off the court losses. I don't know what that's about. I mean, he loses like 6-0 in the fifth, 6-2 in the third. I mean, there's something missing there, and he certainly can put it together, but I hope he does it soon. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Before you leave, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, and also be looking out tomorrow. If you're watching this video, Matt Bradshaw from Coffee Break Tennis and myself, we're going to come out with a new free training series called Consistency, Stop Missing for No Reason at All. And the course is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's going to be a 30-day challenge. You're going to get 3 free videos you can watch so you can get a taste for it. And it's going to be systematically teaching you how to stop missing balls for no reason. I came up with this concept when I heard one of our online students say, "I miss shots for no reason at all." And he wrote me a frustrated email. And I thought, well, that's true. So many of us do. Everybody's done it. And so what a great concept for a course. And so we made a course around that whole thing. So make sure you check it out. I'm going to sign off. If you are a Facebook follower, friend of mine, I'm going to basically do the same thing live on Facebook if you want to follow me over there. Take care.